What's up, folks? Sean the Average Angler bringing a quick video to you today, and it's a good one. Just want to bring some awareness to knowing what our baits do in the water. This will really help us pick the appropriate bait for what it is we're trying to do. So I think this video is going to spark some interest here. And anyway, if you're new to the channel, you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button down there. Join the Average Angler community. Become one of the family. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. What baits are you using? All right, so we're going into the pool today. We filled her up last night. Took a little dip in the pool this morning with a few different baits on a couple different rigs, just to give you an idea and show you the differences of how baits move. Floating versus non-floating, so forth and so on. And it's pretty interesting. And look, I want to say first off, none of these are bad baits. They're all good baits. It's just knowing what they do can help us pick the appropriate bait for the time and what it is we're trying to do. Now, worm number one was this one right here, okay? That's that power bait, max scent, Magnum Hit Worm. Now, in my opinion, this is going to be more of a bait that I'm probably going to target suspended fish with, okay? Because once on the bottom, there's not really a whole lot to it. The worm's kind of, well, take a look at the video here. Now, another good worm, very popular actually, is the Magnum Hit Worm from Berkeley. But you're going to see completely different. The worm is heavy. It's not doing a whole lot. It's hard to keep that tail up off the bottom. Now, I don't want to take too much away from this because this worm gets bit. It moves good in the water, but as you can see, it just wants to lay on the bottom, and it's really, really hard to keep that tail up. So this is going to be more of a pop and drop, if you will. Okay, pop it up, drop it, pop it up, drop it. All right, knowing your baits is a big key to how we're going to work them in the water to get bit. So there you see it. I think this worm is probably best to be cast out to suspended fish, twitch in front of them or just above them, and try and trigger a strike. Not to say it won't work on the bottom, it will, but we have better stuff for that. And the worm on the shaky head we've showed before, so I'm sure it's no surprise to anybody the performance of that Slinky worm, right? You can stop moving the bait and that tail is going to float up. Doesn't have a ton of movement once you stop, other than it's going to start floating up. Very natural stance, defensive stance, easy for the fish to eat. Let's take a look. All right. Okay, and the star of the show really is going to be the Slinko worm, as you see there. It's on the Bass Union head. That worm floats, right? Look at the action. The tail's still moving a little bit. Doesn't take much. Now, it's not as lively as the thin worm, but what you see is that that worm is standing that head up, and you see it's moving around, and I'm not doing nothing to it. Right? Know your worm. All right, so what do you guys think? Yeah, I really like that worm. I gotta tell you, and I've bought a whole bunch of them. And to follow that up, this is the one that I think really gets overlooked, and that is the Phat Pack thin worm. Now we're gonna take a look at this in the water in just a minute on a Nico rig, but this little worm, and it's not that little, it's 6 inches, right? But it's a thin worm, hence the name thin worm. But this thing moves like liquid motion, okay? I've never seen anything else that moves quite the way this does. Part of that's because of the buoyancy, and then the other part is because of the great plastic that they're made with. Gives it a lot of free range to move around. Let's take a look here, what I'm talking about. All right, guys, let's take a look at the Phat Pack Thin Worm as a Nico rig. And I think you're gonna see here, guys, as we go through some of these, that it's just a superior worm as far as action goes. Let it drop down. You see that tail still gonna stand up. It's up off the bottom. But the Nico worm is really meant to be moving. We don't want to just let it sit. It's an action worm. And you'll see that tail as it's moving away from you. It's ridiculous. Okay. I think you get the point there. All right. So, you see what I mean? Just a small sample size of some worms we took a look at today on some different rigs to get a look at them underwater, okay? It's an eye-opening thing. It's about picking baits that best suit what it is you're trying to do. I'm probably gonna look to different worms when the water is cold, wintertime. Maybe I need a little less action. Or the flip side of that is you can use one of these baits and just not do a whole lot to it and let the natural current in the water move that bait. Okay, now we have a Robo worm here. Not bad. The Robo, let's call it the Robo, will follow the head that it's on. Okay, so this head tends to stand the worm up a bit. Moves pretty good. Very similar to that Slinko, except the Slinko is way more buoyant. Wants to stand up. But as far as the movement goes, I'd say the two are pretty equivalent. It's a great way to catch more fish, knowing what our baits do. Let me know what you want me to test in the pool, and we'll get on it. All right, thanks for watching. I'm Sean the Average Angler. We'll see you in the next one.